All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, October 5th. We got some more MLB Playoff Baseball to dive into in today's video. We start the AL and NLDS series here, best of 5. We got 4 games on the slate. Like we always do, guys, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we might like within the game as well. But as always, keep an eye on the pinned comment. If you do want to fade me, all of my final plays will be listed in the pinned comment. In terms of how we did a couple days ago in that last game 3 between the Mets and the Brewers, we go 1-1. It was looking kind of pretty there with the Brewers up 2-0 and late in the game there before Pete Alonso hits a 3-run shot. But that ends up being an L because the Brewers lost. And then Jose Iglesias, we did cash his under 1.5 bases. Not all that great because it was a minus 165 juiced through the moon play. But we're still being cautious here in the postseason with half unit plays and stuff like that unless I really do love something. Because we've had such a good regular season, I don't want to piss it all away on kind of the sharpest time of the year for the books in the MLB. At least that's my opinion. But let's go ahead and jump into today's slate, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. FYI, we got some football content out already, as well as videos coming out like today at 1 p.m. Saturday, we'll release our Sunday slate game, so make sure to go check that out. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's rock. We're starting it off here with game 1 of the Guardians and the Tigers. So Tigers obviously kind of shocked the world here as they take Houston in 2 games in Houston too, which is really, really impressive. Cleveland's been off for a little bit. Funnily enough, I believe their last game was against Houston. It was a 4-3 loss, but today, a little bit different here. We have Tanner Bybee on the mound going up against Tyler Holton, the opener, and then Reese Olson listed as the primary pitcher. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, but we know Tyler Holton is opening, and his last start was one of those games against Detroit. He looked really good. In fact, he's looked really good as an opener throughout the last 5. He's got a .4 ERA. He is allowing 0.6 hits per open. I mean, he's only going to give you 2 innings max, but nonetheless, I do kind of want to give him his flowers there. And then on the other side, Tanner Bybee pitching for the Guardians, 1.8 ERA over his last 5 on the season. The dude was really, really good as well as a sub, like 3.5 ERA. He's been good at home, 1.18 whip, FIP of 3.42, an average against of 243, and a strikeout rate of 26% there. He's going to throw a ton of fastballs and a ton of sliders. Detroit really only hits the slider well out of those 2 pitches. On the other side, Reese Olson, if he is the starter here, is going to throw fastball, sinker, slider, and curveball. Cleveland hits the fastball well. They hit the changeup really well. Changeup, not curveball. Changeup really well. The sinker and the slider there, they don't hit all that well. Now, Detroit's offense has actually been looking really good. I mean, obviously, I mentioned they kind of shocked the world beating Houston. They scored 3 runs in the first one, 5 in the other. But, in their last 10, they've been giving you like a pretty consistent 4+ runs. So I think the Guardians offense, Detroit been doing that. I think the Guardians offense is going to have to step up here. My main play in this one, I think, is going to be the Nerfy. I love the idea of Holton continuing to do what he does in the beginning of the games, and Tanner Bybee on the other side of things. Like, I really do like him as a pitcher. In terms of how he's been against the Tigers in the past, not all that great, so I'm hoping we can get 3 outs out of him. 86 plate appearances against these current Tigers roster, and what I mean by that is the current guys that are on the roster. 316 batting average against. It gets worse with an expected batting average at 324, walk rate of 8, which is kind of just league average, expected WOB of 418, and an expected slugging of just under 600. So I don't necessarily love those numbers altogether, but I don't mind him for a couple innings here of really good pitching before maybe they start to learn him. So I'm going to lean towards the Nerfy as my main play. In terms of a money line play, I don't think it's worthy of the Psycho Alert Alarm. But game 1, big dogs here, plus 130. This Tigers team has some momentum behind it. This Cleveland team may, be kind of, not groggy, but they've been off. Like, give me the Tigers here, plus 130. I think this is more of a 50-50 game, so I'll admit that, right? I'm not saying this is a lock, but a 50-50 game, and you're going to get plus 130 from these guys, I don't mind it. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to a first 5 play here. Tigers have a very good bullpen, but Cleveland's had one of the best bullpens, if not the best bullpen, all year long, right? And everybody's rested, everyone's fresh, so I don't mind a first 5 look either, but yeah, give me some way, shape, or form the Tigers here in this spot. Now, when it comes to a total, it's sitting at 7. If I were to play this, I'd probably go under 7.5, but buy that half of a run. I still don't mind the under, but I could see this being like a 4-3 game, which would be a push. So I'm going to lean towards the under, but again, I think my main way of playing the under would be, hey, go get 6 outs, 3 outs per pitcher, and get a Nerfy to cash. So that's what I'm looking at there. And then no player props as of right now, but as always, I tell you guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. All right, the next one we're looking at here is going to be game one, Phillies taking on the Mets. Obviously, we kind of just talked about the Mets and what they did to get into this position. Good for them. They're really rallying. Phillies big favorites here at home, and it makes sense, right? They're the higher seed, and they have Zach Wheeler, one of the better pitchers in the league, on the mound. In terms of who's pitching for the Mets, I've seen Kodai Senga's name around. I've seen David Peterson, so I think we're still going to have to wait to see who is truly pitching for this team, but it's not going to change my bet in this spot. I lean towards the Phillies. Minus 180 is a hell of a lot of a price tag to pay. I understand that, so I don't think that I get there, but I could look at what we've done all year long, and hopefully the playoffs, treat us as well as the regular season did, potentially looking at the Phillies' first 5 run line. That's how we can get some digestible odds. Right now over on ESPN Bet, minus 120 for Phillies, minus 0.5 in the first 5, so that's definitely something that I can get behind there. My one concern is that I really would like to get to this Mets bullpen. We even saw the Brewers win game 2 in that series because the bullpen kind of struggled, right? So I like the idea of the the Phillies being able to get to the Mets bullpen, but unfortunately, first 5 is kind of excluding that. But still, we can trust Zach Wheeler here in this spot. I would look at like a Mets team total under, but with that total at 7, it's gonna be a dumb number, right? In terms of what we've seen from Zach Wheeler, though, been absolutely electric at home. Batting average against of 186, a whip of 0.94 against this Mets roster, and he has a ton of experience against them here. 182 in terms of plate appearances of current guys on that roster against him, an expected batting average against of 242, an expected slugging of 380, and an expected WOBA of 295. Now, Senga also has some good numbers against the Phillies, but we don't even know if he's definitely pitching yet. So if he does, just know that, yes, you do have a good starter on the side. And if you're going with the Mets, I'd also probably consider a first 5 play because of the idea that that bullpen could come in and accidentally, muck about, to say the least. So, yeah, I don't mind this Philly spot, though. I think they come out. I think they're ready. They're at home. Still probably, I think I said earlier in the year, still probably my World Series favorite in terms of what we're seeing. I know it's down to I think they're like the 3rd or 4th biggest smallest odds, Dodgers, Yankees up there now, but I still do think the Phillies, as long as their bats kind of come alive or come back to what they were mid-season, could be a really good team here. So yeah, give me the Phillies in this spot. Total wise, that's tough. I might look at Phillies team total and take the over instead of worrying about, because like I said, I don't think that any of these games are going to be super high scoring or anything like that, so it's tough to look at this and say, well, I want to go over because I want Zach Wheeler to pitch well, and if the Mets, like I said, team total under, I don't want them to have to carry their half the weight. So I think I just say, hey, Phillies, you go score runs. Right now, over 3.5 for minus 130 on FanDuel. That could be something that I get convinced of there. But I think the Phillies' first 5 still kind of, supersedes that in terms of what I like. And in terms of a couple player props that I'm liking, we'll jump into the outlier screen. I don't mind Trey Turner here at home to start us off with over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. 62% of his home games this season, he's cashed it in. When you look at the head-to-head, it gets a little dry even looking at against Senga. But again, we don't even know if Senga's definitely pitching here. But his batting average against righties doesn't really drop all that much. If he goes up against a lefty, David Peterson, great. And he's going to see a lot of fastballs, which strikes out less against. I just like the spot for Trey Turner. I wouldn't necessarily say that all of these metrics are ringing endorsements. Those are his games at home against the Phillies. 50-50, against the Mets. 50-50 head-to-head dating back to last season here. So he's definitely capable of doing it. But again, I kind of like the idea of at home this season. 62% of games he's done it. And, 61, say David Peterson pitches 65%. Kodai Senga, 61%. So, yeah, I like the spot for him to kind of step up for his team here. Now, another spot that I would consider here is right over here. We're looking at Kodai Senga. Now, again, if he starts, maybe they're going him for a few innings and then David Peterson comes in or something like that, because those are the two names I've seen around. But if Kodai Senga is pitching and he's pitching legitimately over 2.5 strikeouts, I know he hasn't pitched in a while, right? But he's crushed this number in his one game this season, head-to-head 2 straight. Last year he did it in 100%. Like, I understand that he may not be pitching a full workload, he's coming back and all that, but if for whatever reason he can see, 9 batters or something, 2.5 strikeouts, not exactly the worst spot in the world, but I probably am hesitant to play that because we don't know exactly what we're getting out of there. But that's where we'll lean in this game. Let's go ahead and move on. Before we do, I do want to talk to you guys about Sleeper. They got a couple discounts for you right now. Sign up today, you'll get both of these. For today, you got Cam Ward, his passing yards line down to 0.5, and you'll also get Dak Prescott for Sunday, his Sunday Night Football, I believe, right? 0.5 passing yards for him as well. You're also going to get up to $100 of a 100% deposit match. So if you throw in $100, they'll match it, give you $200 to play within your account. $50, same thing. $100, you guys can do that simple math. Go ahead and check it out. That link is in the pinned comment. It's also going to be in the description if that's easier for you as well. Go check out Sleeper, guys. What I like about Sleeper, and if you don't know what it is, it's a player prop app in which you combine these slips like parlays. The more you win, the more you get paid out, right? You got to combine at least two, and then, I think you're going up to 100 times on Sleeper, which is crazy. But what I like about them is each and every play that you throw in changes the payout odds. They don't just follow a fixed payout structure like a lot of other apps, or three for three is, 10x, 5x, whatever. It's like, no, Sleeper, every pick you could throw in there could alter your odds drastically. And they have a lot of available plays in lines over there, which a lot of other apps remove because the odds get to a spot in which they're not comfortable, right? So go check out Sleeper, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. And also, guys, our Week 5 against the spread pick'em for the NFL is now live. It's a $10 entry. You pick all the Sunday games with the exclusion of the London game, all the Sunday games against the spread. The more you win, the higher you rank and the more points you get. There's only 15 spots available. I believe we still have like 10 or so left. So go ahead and check it out. 15 places are overall, right? 5 places get paid. So the top third, can you be in the top third to make some change? Go ahead and check it out, guys. If you think football against the spread this week, some wonky games on there, now's your time to strike. $10 entry fee. That link is also going to be in the pinned comment. All right, we got the Yankees taking on the Royals here. Yankees have been waiting for this one. Royals also kind of shocked a lot of people, right? They were plus 125 and plus 124 underdogs in that series against Baltimore. They win 1-0 and 2-0. Now, the Yankees coming into this one, obviously a very good team. Like I said, they're either second or favorite to win the World Series here. Their offense is really good. They're getting healthy, right? They have Soto, Judge, Stanton. This is a really good Yankees team. There's a reason I say all this. There's a reason because, there's a reason that they are, I should say, minus 200 favorites over another playoff team. They're that good. So with Garrett Cole on the mound today going up against Michael Wacha, who I do think is a good pitcher as well. But Garrett Cole, I have to trust him in this spot. I don't know if I can get to minus 200, obviously, but maybe there's another way or a few other ways that we could potentially like the Yankees here in this spot. Now, one being Yankees' first 5 run line, again, kind of like what we did with the Phillies. That's minus 140 over on DraftKings right now. That's a lot more digestible than minus 200. And I think if the Yankees win the first 5, they might win the full game and maybe even go double result and make some good money, right? Double result meaning they have to be winning at the first 5 and the full game, and it's kind of like a parlay. So that could be a way that we go. I think that I could also consider Kansas City here, team total under 3.5 for the full game. We've seen Kansas City's offense kind of tail off a little bit. Like if I read off their last 10 games, from most recent to least recent, meaning those playoff games at the top here, 2-1, so those are the playoff, right? 4, okay, they hit the over there. 1-0, then 7, okay, they hit the over. 3-1-0-0. They're not scoring runs. They hit the over 3.5 in 2 of their last 10 games. So I think Garrett Cole can go in there and do some damage. He has 147, nearly 150 plate appearances against this current roster, an expected batting average against of 204, an expected WOBA of 249, and an expected slugging of 350. So I don't mind that. I'd also consider just like Yankees team total over because Michael Wacha doesn't look like, one, he's in the best position here, and 2, he doesn't have the best numbers against the Yankees. So in his 153 plate appearances against, he's got a batting average against of 244. That's not terrible, right? But an expected batting average that jumps to 260, a walk rate at 8 compared to a lower one for the season. I think he's more so around, let's see, we had it up right here, more so right around 6. Yeah, so walks a few more guys, right? An expected slugging of 452 and an expected WOBA of 350. So not saying that those are terrible numbers. They don't compare to Garrett Cole. So I think the Yankees offense could get to him as well. So like I said, there's multiple ways we could get to the Yankees here. Kansas City team total under. Now we're back in Garrett Cole. Yankees team total over. Now we're back in the bats. Or we could just look at the Yankees on the first 5 like we did with the Phillies. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. I could see stuff like that or something like that coming around. Maybe we split a unit or a half unit or something in kind of multiple ways there. One where we back the offense and one where we back Garrett Cole. But obviously, you could tell by the sound of my voice, really not high on this Kansas City team in this series or just in general. Like, if the Orioles didn't, I'll say this, if the Orioles didn't stink, Kansas City didn't really, like, they almost didn't make it into the playoffs, and now they go out and they beat the Orioles in 2 games, scoring a combined total of 3 runs. Yeah, like, I know that they pitched well, and I get that, but I don't even know if Reagans or Lugo were great pitching, you know what I mean? Like, they're just, I don't know, I don't have the confidence in Kansas City right now, and they happen to be playing the best team in the AL, so let me know what you guys think of that. Did the Orioles lose that series, or did the Royals win that series? I'm very curious, because I kind of believe the Orioles lost that series, but I can understand an argument against, so let me know in the comments. But yeah, hell, give me the Yankees here. I'll lean towards the under, I guess, overall, but I'd much rather play Yankees team total over. That way we don't have to worry about a full game, or Royals team total under. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. Also, don't have any player props. I think there are some juicy spots here, but nothing that we found so far. So maybe we'll add something in. Keep an eye on that pinned comment, of course. All right, now we got the series that I think everyone is going to be excited for. Dodgers taking on the rival, the Padres here. Right now, Dodgers minus 135 in terms of their odds at home. Padres at plus 120. The total is sitting at 7.5. We have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, nailed that pronunciation, on the mound for the Dodgers, going up against Dylan Cease here for the Padres. Yamamoto's been very, very good, obviously, as has Cease. So this is a tough one because you have 2 amazing offenses, right? And 2 really good pitchers. So it's like, do you think the pitchers are going to be better than the offenses today? Or do you think the offenses are going to be better than the pitchers? The world may never know. Well, I guess we will know later tonight. But in terms of this spot, I might be a little crazier. I think I'm going to back Dylan Cease and the Padres, only because you're getting a nice plus number at plus 120. If this is like plus 100 or plus 105, I'd probably actually even lean towards the Dodgers. You know what I mean? So this is not like a stake my claim in the ground or anything like that. Like, I totally get why someone likes the Dodgers tonight. And in fact, that probably is the more likely team to win. But I think that this could be more 50-50, which is why I like the idea that we're getting plus 100. The Dodgers have even won out of the last 10 games here all this season. Won 6 of the last 10 against the Padres have won 6 of the last 10 against the Dodgers. So I kind of like the spot for them. I'm trusting Cease. This is an interesting sort of, I guess, spot for him because this is a Dodgers team that crushes the fastball, crushes pretty much every pitch in the book, but they're kind of middle of the pack against the slider, which is Dylan Cease's go-to pitch, right? So I like that. Last time he pitched against them was just under a month ago. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. Not his best work, right? And that was in LA as well, so keep that in mind. But he pitched against them earlier in the year. He went, I think it was 5 2/3. Yeah, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. So maybe there is something to be said about he might walk some guys or something like that, right? But overall, I do think that Dylan Cease has, if that slider's working, I do kind of like the idea of him being able to, keep things suppressed on the Dodgers side. And then on the other side, like, I really can't knock Yamamoto or anything like that, but he's going to throw fastballs. Dodgers hit fastballs really well. He's going to throw a splitter. They hit that better than any team in the league, surprisingly enough. He's going to throw a curveball. That is sort of going to be his get-out pitch because that's the pitch that the Padres don't hit all that well. So they hit the fastball. They hit the splitter, 2 of his top 3 pitches. So I guess I'm also thinking that this is a Padres spot in which they could score some runs and maybe they suppress the Dodgers. But doesn't it sound kind of crazy to think, Padres team total over or anything like that? Like, we're looking at the underdog here to score a bunch of runs. Yeah, it does kind of sound crazy. So I'll sound the psycho alert alarm. Give me the Padres here. In terms of the total, I think I want to trust the pitching. I'm going to lean full game under, but like I said, I'm kind of like eyeing that Padres team total over. So makes me kind of scared to pull the trigger on an under there. I also don't have any player props in this one. I apologize for that. I think we gave out a couple in today's video, but nothing that I'm just like overly thrilled with. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. We're still going to be grinding and trying to see if we can find some player props. So keep an eye out there. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and comment the number 19. That lets me know that you made it this far into the video, which playoff baseball is really hard to bet. I made a community post about this recently because someone in the comments was like, it's playoff time. time. Let's see if you know how to, let's see how good of a sports bettor you actually are. And I don't know if that, he wasn't saying anything bad, but I responded being like, I don't know if that's the time you prove yourself. Like, the regular seasons when you get the edge, the variance, and sort of these weird spots, right? The postseason, these books have all the time in the world to look at these games and get the right numbers. You have the best of the best. Like, yes, I guess in theory, you know, this is the time to see if you're that good, but we had a great regular season. I'm not just saying, hey, now let's isolate ourselves to the playoffs and see how good we are. I'm thrilled with what we did in the regular season. So we're conservative here. We're not throwing out a bunch of plays or anything like that. Hopefully that makes sense. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So before I go on another rant, I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.